Hi, my name is Joseph Alai. Welcome to my channel. And today we're going to talk about the gossip technique. This will be extremely helpful for anyone looking for a simple technique that can be utilized quickly, that essentially works with specific facets of the imagination to allow your manifestations or the imaginal acts to be impressed easily. But the most important aspect of this, or why it's so appealing, is it completely eliminates all resistance, which can be one of the greatest factors in preventing someone from getting their manifestation. So we'll talk about that technique and how to exactly apply it. Now, I'd like for you to stay tuned after this video. It's been a lot of time passed since the last video, and I have a couple really important announcements, such as things involving accounts imitating me, and also live events. So stay tuned till the end of the video. I really appreciate that. So let's jump into this gossip technique. So a technique, what is a technique, right? We're talking about manifestation, which is the act or science, rather, at least the way that we describe it, the science of pushing out into this reality our desires by following a process which impresses our subconscious mind with the thing that we want. So in other words, it's a step-by-step approach to impressing the subconscious mind and manifesting into reality your desire. So that's what a technique is. That's how we are going to apply essentially the fundamentals into a concrete way, a systematic approach to manifesting our desires, right? So there are so many different techniques, and they all utilize and they must utilize one fundamental, one law that has to apply to everything, meaning there cannot be any edge cases, which is why techniques themselves aren't as important as understanding the fundamentals behind them, because as long as you can understand the fundamentals, you can actually create techniques, or you'll understand or know exactly if a technique would work or not. So in this case, we're taking the fundamental of the replicating factor of awareness, meaning according to the things that we can experiment and prove, that which we hold in our imagination will, as a side effect, be replicated or pushed out in the exact nature as it was held there, right? So essentially what that means is, and this is where we derive the idea, imagine the end. Because if we imagine a time and space where we already have what we want, then that will be replicated outward and manifest us exactly what we want as if it already happened. We do not want to manifest something before it happened, right? So ultimately, that is why we imagine the end. So the gossip technique is something, like I said, it's really important because it eliminates the faculty or the aspect of resistance, right? Resistance, in other words, is this feeling or thought that this is fake, or this is not going to happen, or some emotion that gets in the way from allowing us to actually emulate what it would be like. The idea of manifesting, or actually impressing the subconscious mind, is we're supposed to emulate what it would be like, right? We're supposed to imagine or sense what it would actually be like from my point of view in thought, feeling, sensations, etc., if I already had it. So if I'm imagining something, say for instance, I'm imagining $1 million and that I have that in my possession, but deep down, or not even deep down, on the surface of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, this is not real. This is not going to happen. Or in other words, maybe something like, I don't really know what it would feel like, so this feels fake, right? The problem with resistance is if those thoughts, those feelings, those expectations, beliefs, attitudes, etc., are in your consciousness while you're imagining, then that will be replicated outward too, which means if you're thinking to yourself, this isn't going to happen, or this is fake, then what will manifest? Which one will take precedence, or will they both come out together? So ultimately, the key here to understanding resistance is that if you have it or a lot of it, there is a high probability that your manifestation will come out askew or not at all, right? So effectively, non-resistance or the lack of resistance is the being fully present as if it's real, which means there's no doubt, no fear, no questioning, no inner dialogue that's like, this is nonsense. It's just the full imaginal act after the end, the real true experience as if you already had it. You have that $1 million. There's no question about it. You have that specific person. There's no question about it. And like, why would you question it if you had it, right? You wouldn't be worried or fearing if you already had it. And so that brings us directly to the gossip technique. So understanding the technique, we are basically looking at all the things I just said, right? Feeling like a phony, feeling like a fake, feeling like this isn't really going to happen. All of those things get in the way. And so to find a way to remove those things, what I normally suggest to my coaching clients or people in the VIP program in the workshops is to take it one step removed, right? So if I'm having a conversation with you in my imaginal act, that yes, I'm rich, or yes, I'm married to this person, or yes, I've been healed of this thing, or yes, my depression has completely gone away. Whatever the case is, that direct dialogue, that direct relationship or scene between you and I, us talking about me having experienced this thing, there's a higher probability, if there is going to be resistance, that it will be like that. Right? It will be in that type of first person point of view, direct conversation or relationship. So the key here is to remove it one step. So one way to remove it is to overhear people talking about you. Now this is a great way to entirely annihilate resistance. Oftentimes, instead of me saying something to you and you saying something to me about something that I want that causes resistance, overhearing other people talking about you, like I said, annihilates or removes almost entirely all resistance. So this is the reason why we're going to be using this overhearing people talking to us. And thus comes the name, the gossip technique. So ultimately, the reason we're doing this, and then also the reason why we're using words, like a conversation, opposed to perhaps maybe just some feeling or some direct visualization or something like that, is because words themselves are extremely specific. Me, myself, I've manifested thousands and thousands of things by only using words. No visuals, no emotion, no sensation, none of that. Only words, meaning writing something down. And if you tried my list method, right, I have hundreds of thousands of testimonials of people who have only used words based on the list method and have manifested their desires. So the reason for that, and it comes from where I quote scripture that says the word became flesh, right? From my point of view, the Bible is the actual instruction manual to manifestation, right? Being you're the first person point of view character of that book, and everything is explaining to you, at least the letter behind the word or the metaphysical interpretation is explaining how to manifest. And it says the word became flesh, and the word is logos, which is meaning. So ultimately the point is each word that we impress has a meaning that exists somewhere, and that meaning is manifested in its exact nature. So ambiguity is removed entirely when we use words, versus if there's, you could see something, right? But seeing something doesn't exactly prove that it's happening, right? Your eyes can be deceived, right? That's a saying, famous saying. But words bring clarity, right? Words bring clarity. So listening and overhearing someone saying, Joseph Alai was given $1 million. And then someone also replying and saying, I know, isn't that crazy? I saw it. He has $1 million. And then the person saying, that's a lucky guy. That in and of itself has no ambiguity. There's no question as to what they mean. And you're kind of the fly on the wall, just overhearing as if they don't even know that you're there. And the trick is to play that and loop that idea or scene over and over and over again. A short, condensed statement, or a conversation, a back and forth exchange between those people. You never play a part in this imaginal scene. You're only overhearing people talk about you. and you just do it over and over. So the idea, or the step-by-step instructions to this technique, is to first know exactly what you want. And once you have that, you choose 2 people that you trust. 2 people that you would trust, that you would know that whatever they're saying, they're not going to lie to you. So that's always what I do with any type of imaginal conversation and any technique that uses words or conversing between 2 people. It's always someone that you trust. And so you take those 2 people that you trust. It doesn't matter where you are specifically. You don't need to add any of that, because again, we focus on the core principles, the core aspects of the imaginal scene, right? So what's more importantly is there are 2 people that you trust, and then you map out exactly what you want them to say to each other. Now, you don't want to add any details that don't matter. Make it as concise, removing any type of details that don't matter. And then you, essentially what you do at that point is you're going to imagine, so you memorize it, and then you imagine them talking back and forth to each other on loop, on repeat, over and over and over again. It should really be a sentence each. That way there's no questioning or forgetting, right? You need to be able to memorize it and repeat it without question. And so after that, what you want to do is, once you have that mapped out, is you close your eyes, you relax, you count backwards, whatever you have to do to get into a position where you are present in the moment, right? For me, I count backwards and I focus on my breathing at the same time. Once you do that, you take a few minutes to get yourself into that scene. Now, whether that means you're just playing this conversation back and forth, the point is to make it natural. So the first 5, 10 times, 20 times you repeat this and loop this, you might not be present. Your mind might be wandering all over. The point is to keep going until it becomes natural and realistic. And then ultimately, once it plays out fully and completely without your mind wandering, and you continue on that, you know when to either fall asleep doing it, but you know when to stop when the emotion comes as a natural side effect of that scene. Just like in reality, you don't push a scene into, push an emotion into something that's happening. Something that happens triggers that emotion. And once you do that, once you reach that point, you've impressed your subconscious mind and you can stop and never do it again. And you will enter into a bridge of incidents unaware entirely. You could forget about it, but you will receive that manifestation. Utilize this with anything you want: health, wealth, love, happiness, specific people, making money, starting a business, losing weight, whatever it is that you want. And so utilize the gossip technique and watch how your resistance is removed entirely, and watch how quickly and easily your manifestation comes. So that is the gossip technique. Utilize that, comment, and tell me how that worked for you. I'm really interested to hear what you have to say. So on now to the announcements. Really important. On Instagram, there are people who are imitating me, telling people that they give readings and responding, right? That I do not do. I do not give readings. Anything coaching-wise is done directly through my website, josephali.com. VIP stuff is vip.josephali.com, right? So I won't respond and message, none of that, right? None of that. I'll never ask you for money directly. It'll all be done through some form or through my email, which is, but that'll all be done through an official page, right? And my email is business@sovereignmind.com. So with that said, it is extremely important that on my Instagram, which is where I'm being imitated, that I reach the amount of followers so that I can get my account verified. Now, I haven't been using it much over the past couple of years at all, which is why you're probably only hearing about it now. But follow me, and the link is in the description. It's josephali.manifests. There's no double S, there's no weird spelling. It's josephali.manifests, right? I'll put that in the description. Some people are making it with 2 S's at the end, whatever. I need 10,000 followers, which means I need 2,000 more in order for me to be verified. So please follow so I can get that verification so there's no more scamming or impersonating going on. Secondly, meetup.com is a website where people can meet in person. I will be hosting a meetup coming soon, right, for people in San Diego. So make sure, again, this link is in the description. If you're in the San Diego area, if you want to join, it's going to be a semi-periodic meeting. This is not a major event. So I will be hosting major events that will span days, right? But this is something that's only going to be maybe like an hour long if you're in the vicinity. So I'll post the link below. Stay tuned. We'll meet up periodically, talk about manifesting, etc. So those are the 2 announcements for that. I hope this was really helpful to you. Please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and in settings, make sure you click always notify for the bell icon. Click on the bell, right, and then do always notify, because YouTube changed it so that people no longer are notified all the time. So anyway, again, thank you so much. Follow that Instagram, check out that meetup, subscribe, like, bell icon, all that other good stuff, and thank you for watching. Take care.